So, Marjorie, when's the last time that you felt completely invisible when you knew you were doing everything right?
Oh, you mean like when you're doing your job and then you're also doing somebody else's job and then you don't get recognized for either of those jobs? Like that?
This sounds personal. This sounds recent.
I just, I think that it feels like you get snubbed, right?
Like sinners.
Yo.
It
exactly
is
like
season.
that.
Yeah, it is a worse season. So let's get into it.
Yo, parents, professors. Yo, parents, professors.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Parents and Professors podcast with your favorite triple C's, co-parents, colleagues, and collaborators, Dr. Michael Stephen Williams and
Dr. Margie Dermer Williams.
This is a podcast where we explore the intersection of co-parenting, education, and anything else we find interesting, usually pop culture. So what are we talking about today?
So being snubbed, being overlooked, being ignored, unseen. I'm thinking of like what other...
This feels like your life story so often.
We could do a whole
so many of Marjorie's formative experiences are about being snubbed.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I'm such a nice person, y'all. I don't understand. But you did mention sinners, and so I think that feels like
award
a really
season gives us an opportunity to revisit one of the great events in Black cinema in recent history by another favorite, Ryan Coogler, and another favorite, Michael B. Jordan. And this one was already drooling at the camera, just happened to have some shots. Shout out to Tayo Cuckoo, because he might have been the one that took those pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Neil.
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan is very photogenic, and I enjoy it.
That's a good way of saying it. That's a politically correct. He is very photogenic. So snubs is the topic. We're talking about snubs in life, in school, in movies, and in all kinds of different spaces. And we could talk about snubs as parents too. So whether it's academic rejection, parental rejection, I just try to get my son to talk to me and he says no.
Did he say no?
I mean, he essentially.
Leave me alone, Dad.
Exactly.
Stop being the ops.
Exactly. He thinks I'm the ops, even though I'm the only one that has his back. But whatever. Join us on the show. Be sure to check out the show links and all that good stuff. And as a final reminder before we get started, this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are our own, and discussions are based on our personal experiences, publicly available information, and our general industry knowledge. We're not your mommy. We're not your lawyer. But we do enjoy you coming along with us on this little ride.
So, yeah, I'm not an award show person generally anymore, really. So I didn't even...
Anymore you used to be?
When I was younger, I remember the Soul Train Awards are on. Like, calling my parents, like, can we watch TV? Can I watch the Soul Train Awards?
The Soul Train Awards? That is not where I expected you to go.
I remember there was a year where In Vogue was performing, and I was just, like, so hyped to watch them. It was the whole thing. Anyway, it's award season, and apparently was it the Golden Globes?
Well, they won something at the Golden Globes, but whatever Sinners won at the Golden Globes was not televised. So it was one of those, when they're like honoring people, but they're not really honoring them.
Pretty sure it was for like best original score.
Or yeah, I think that.
And the music was dope.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. One, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves because award season isn't over, and the Oscars and the Golden Globes are two different competitions, and maybe not doing as well at the Golden Globes is a good thing for the Oscars.
But so can we talk about the why? Because this is not a new phenomenon, particularly when it comes to Black art and Black industry, right? Being recognized in some of these spaces often comes at a much higher cost.
Well, I think there are a couple of different conversational paths that go down if you're going there. One is the kind of internalized depression of feeling like you have to do twice as much to get half as much in terms of recognition and support. Like, that's very germane to the Black experience. It's also connected to mental health crises and us being exploited because of trying to live up to that.
Yes.
But I think that's one, right? And then there's general gatekeeping that gets done around any kind of Black excellence. Because Obama being the easy example, like think of how
Harvard,
like you have to literally check every single box to even have a chance.
and even that's not good enough.
Yeah. And your imperfections are going to be shouted with megaphones, and your victories are going to be swept under the rug, or they're going to be like derisively called things in your name, right? Like we're in the season where Obamacare is about to go away and they don't have a plan.
Wasn't there a concept of a plan once upon a time?
I mean, the plan was Project 2025. Oh my God, we're not going down this path.
Sorry.
Back to sinners.
Sinners.
And
Black excellence.
Yeah, not the sinners that are in the White House. The sinners. Not the vampires that we could see.
It's just sucking the life out of everything.
Exactly, sucking the life out of the economy and people's morale as members of this country.
Yes.
But the
yes.
cinematic experience that was Sinners, of course there's going to be pushback. Of course there's going to be backlash. I've actually seen some stuff that suggests that the campaign against Sinners is pretty targeted because of the ownership group. And there's like this long conspiracy theory. Oh, I wish I had the clip.
Okay.
I'll share the clip in the show notes because my wife was sending me like it's a much deeper experience of conspiracy than you think.
I am one who does not poo-poo conspiracies because people said that about the aliens and then they turned out to be real. So there's that. But I do not think that it is a coincidence that Penske Corp, I'm assuming that's short for corporation.
Okay, you're
because
you're doing the Donna path.
I like data. And
not looking to the camera.
evidence,
Tell them what you see.
I am looking at their corporate contributions, their donations, and the millions of dollars that they've given just in 2020. What is this? 2024. So that's the last cycle. And at the tippity top of the list, Make America Great Again, Inc., Turnout for America, Great Lakes Conservative Fund, National Republican Senatorial Committee. Oh, Buckeye Values PAC, Club for Growth, Committed to America PAC.
I hate that you said Buckeye Values.
I know that you saw me pause. I was like,
It hurt me. You got to go ahead and read the facts, but Ohio.
And then
My
to
PhD granting land.
Trump and some dude from Minnesota. And they've given a substantial amount of money to the House, to the Senate.
So make the connection for me. Why does Penske matter for our larger story about?
Sorry. So that's who they give to, but they also own media. They're one of the groups that owns the media.
Like all of the media?
All of the media.
All of the anti-sinners media?
The media that is owned.
So hold on.
But specifically, so Variety magazine is a good example because a story about Sinners or the Golden Globes or the awards show would end up in a magazine like Variety.
Yeah, I remember
Deadline.
seeing backlash on Twitter about how Variety was just unfairly covering Sinners. Like there were people speaking out against it. I remember that.
And I can't speak to the Penske Corporation specifically. However, there's plenty of examples of corporations that own media outlets being very vocal and very hands-on-y about what we do and don't show and who we do and don't criticize and talk about and the message that we are promoting. If anybody is, for example, taking a look at Department of Homeland Security's website, for example, the message is pretty clear. And so I'm not saying that that's what Penske's done. I don't know. But there are dots that feel like they could be easily connected.
So what is that message? I think you need to be explicit for our audio listeners.
The Department of Homeland Security?
Yeah.
Oh, we have gone full throttle, like alt-right, fascist theme music on our federal website.
I haven't.
Have you not seen it?
I've seen some of the erasures. I've seen how they've strategically taken down Black history. I've seen how there's just things that are being scrubbed.
Okay,
even
now
it's
we've
like
gone
the
to the
RFK,
next step.
Yeah.
So now the erasure is still happening, and we're replacing it with very white supremacist iconography. And so the one that I'm thinking of is like We Shall Have Our Home Again. It's a song apparently, and they were playing the song on the website, and that is a song that is sung by, you know, groups such as those that have been identified by the FBI, you know, the Proud Boys and those, and they are all about, you know, reclaiming your land and your home and your country from the invaders.
You're going to make me do like another little sub thing. Everybody needs to read How Fascism Works by Jason Stanley. And as soon as you do it, and you understand how calls to the mythic past have been used in fascist propaganda across the globe. And people compare Nazi Germany because I think that's the most inflammatory, because we remember the Holocaust and there's so much pushback about being anti-Semitic generally.
Yes.
But there's so many other places where the same type of messaging worked. Hungary, Poland, Myanmar, India.
We're not special.
You create a call to a mythic past that didn't necessarily exist, but really is a not so well disguised supremacist narrative.
Yeah.
Because what exactly time period are we calling to when we say we want to make America great again?
The time when only white men with property were allowed to vote. That's my guess.
And where does that leave everybody else with all these events that we made?
Not my problem, Michael.
And so then when you think about who ICE is shooting, it's a very easy and straightforward bridge.
Yeah, it was We'll Have Our Home Again. It's a white nationalist song, and it is how ICE is, you know, targeting their recruits.
Yeah, but that selective moralized version of history where you're pointing to like this pure nation that you had before.
I don't know before what.
All this diversity.
All those brown people here. They literally were here first. So fast forward, January 2026, Golden Globes, Variety Magazine, lack of coverage, and Sinners wins for Best Original Score, I believe it was. Score or song? I think it's Best Original.
It's just not for...
It was the music.
Not for the magic that was on the screen.
It was not for Best Picture, Best Actor in a Motion Picture, not for Best Director, not for Best Screenplay, not for Cinematic Box Office Achievement. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Original Score. Not even Best Original Song. So yeah.
So wait, how does that make you feel? Do you feel personally snubbed?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I think we know that when it comes to mainstream industries, whether it's, you know, movies or television or sports, like this is something that we've continued to experience and see and grapple with. So it's not new or surprising. And I think with our increase of censorship and, you know, the media clamp down on anything that we don't like or disagree with, we're going to get rid of. Like, no, I'm not surprised. I think to me, what's most important, or one of the things that's important, is that it's a lesson learned, right? Like, what can we learn from this? I think that, honestly, I could care less who or what the Golden Globes or any of these people say, because there's general recognition that Sinners was an amazing movie. And its box office records.
If you saw it, you know what's up.
Show it, right? Like we all know it. We all saw it. And so because Penske would rather it didn't exist, or they want to give the award to, and not knocking any of the other nominees in those categories, right? Like generally artists want to do good work and want their work recognized. And so it's not about, oh, it should have gone to Sinners, or actually I think it should have, but that's just my opinion. But I do think that when we see situations like this, particularly when Black people or Black work is involved, I think it's important to understand how and why you get a situation where it doesn't win anything, despite international critical acclaim.
So how would you know what is crazy? Because there's actually a bridge to this in our personal life, because our daughter feels snubbed
Yo.
for continued excellence. And so I think part of the idea of thinking through it in terms of what would we teach our children, or like what's kind of a leadership takeaway, what's an equity, diversity, and inclusion takeaway. I think some of those bridges are relatively easy. And we'll come back to it. But before we leave that, like kind of closing up the idea of what are your takeaways from that? And like, how do you communicate with somebody that just because you're excellent doesn't mean you're going to get the recognition you deserve, especially if you're Black? Like, is it as simple as saying that?
I think it is one of those things that's much easier said than done. I think we as a society uphold people being recognized, right? So, think about our colleagues and peers and how some people are like, oh, I'm 40 under 40 and I got this award from here and I got that award from here. And I'm not saying it to say that the work that's done that gains recognition isn't important. It is, but I think it shouldn't be about the awards. And sometimes it feels like for people, it's about the award. It's about the recognition. It's not about the work.
With it. Yeah, I struggle with it because I think that I have a general aversion to people who I feel like are like award humpers. Like,
I'm sorry, one more time.
Just anybody who's like, oh, you just want to stack your email signature. Like, you want everybody to nominate you for every award, and you think that you're supposed to be like, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But as my career has gone on, I think I've let my aversion to that and being perceived like that stop me from going for awards that I probably should earn.
Yes.
Or recognitions that I should get. Right? And so what's the balance?
That's hard. I am a terrible person, I think, to ask this question, or maybe not, because I'm just gonna do the work. Like, I don't even think about words. In fact, I just learned. Oh, fun news! So I just learned that. Whatever. I'm excited.
Ding.
In fact. So I just learned that one of my publications, work products publications, deliverables from last year, was a top 10 from our companies. From everything we published last year, ours was a top 10.
Like downloaded, read,
yes,
cited.
Yeah, like all of that, like of the things. And we put out a lot of stuff. So that was awesome and amazing.
Which piece was it?
Our transfer toolkit. Right, but I'm normally like, oh, that's cool, and then I'm like, da-da-da.
There will be a link to it in the show notes.
Oh, okay, yes, right, but like, if it were my, I have family members who'd be like, oh, this just happened, and like, it's in the family chat, and they're posting it online, and okay, I'm gonna do those things, but like, it doesn't come naturally to me, and in my mind I'm like, oh great, like it was good work and people found the good work and I'm on to the next.
I feel like that's why you need a circle of hype people for yourself. I feel like everybody needs it. Everybody needs somebody who's gonna like push them to recognize themselves and to be recognized more broadly. Because I have the privilege of working with a lot of really talented people who don't celebrate themselves nearly enough. Like, if you know how hard they work and the impact that they're having by the way they show up for people, those people feel rewarded by the quality of the relationships and like how well the people that they're mentoring are doing. Mm-hmm. And so they might not necessarily psychically need the external validation, but like, I want to see real niggas win. Like, that's the like in general, which brings us back to Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. Right? Like, I want
full circle.
Yeah, like I want to see him win, and I want to see him win at the highest level consistently.
And I agree. I think what's interesting, and you mentioned Makaria, and I feel like, sometimes the other side of you should be recognized for your work. And I do think that people should be recognized when they do good work. But at the same time, I don't know that it should be an expectation. And so she was crashing out. Like, she was so
Yeah, why do you think it's so funny?
It's
Your mom
it's
thinks
not.
this is hilarious.
No, it wasn't hilarious. I'm laughing at myself because like, being a parent is an impossible job, because I'm like, okay, I want to listen to you and I want to be empathetic, but also like,
wait, tell the story from the beginning.
Okay. So, our kids have standardized testing, and they, have several cycles of it during the year. This is a test that's adaptive and supposed to show learning and growth over time. So it's a big deal, and we get emails home about it, and they're like, make sure that they ate breakfast and slept, and it's a thing. It is a thing, because we are in an era of accountability and standardized testing, and that's what we do. So, Makari's good at school. Like, she's good at school, she's good at standardized tests.
I was reporting to my fraternity brothers. We did like a little actual real life update check-in on our chat, and people were talking about life and marriage and relationships and kids and all that. And I was like, yeah, my daughters are easy. Like, I know them, I know their friends, I know what to expect from them, I know the places where they need support. Like, my son is a mystery to me.
It's an enigma.
Yeah, and I don't want that to be the case.
No.
But let me not derail. Let's get back to the Makaria story.
So she comes home and she's, a little disgruntled. I'm like, oh, what's up?
That could be about anything, though. That could be about the quality of the snacks at lunch.
So she explains to me that this year they did the testing and they recognized the student in the 7th grade class who showed the most growth in this particular
like the
round of
biggest
testing.
delta in.
Yes. So what you scored before, what you scored after, look at how much you grew. Now, naturally, Makaria is already a top performer, so her growth is just going to be...
If anything, it might be negative.
Right. When you're already at the top, like, it's kind of hard, like, that just is the case.
There's nowhere to go but down, or you got to keep making new heights.
Right. And so she was saying, that's so unfair because last year they did a party for everyone who, had a positive score or whatever. It wasn't just the one person. And, I basically have the top score in the class and, I deserve to be recognized. And I'm like, are you mad that somebody else grew a lot and they're being recognized, but you're already and you've been at the top? What?
I know so many haters that are built like that, though.
Right. You sound like a hater.
Yeah.
But I didn't say you sound like a hater.
Is my daughter a hater?
So I was trying to understand. I was like, well,
oh, that's actually an early Maya quote.
Is it?
That's because Makaria's a hater. Yo, from the mouth of babes, yo, they be knowing, yo.
I do not think she's a hater. I was trying to understand her perspective. To which she added, because the year before they did the same thing, but everybody who had a positive growth, got to go to this party. The kids who did not had to sit in class. Essentially, they give them the attention. They had to sit in class and do nothing, or they could do homework. It's like, put their heads down.
Oh, so she feels...
She feels some type of way.
Yeah, she feels like it was detention. Like,
Understandably so.
I scored excellently, but because I didn't have growth,
yes,
I didn't get to go to this party.
Yes. And she was like, my score was at the top and I went down some. It was still higher than other people, but they got to go to the party and I didn't get to go to the party. So I get it. I was like, oh, I don't think I like that either. Like, that sounds like a terrible policy. I'm glad they got rid of that party because... Why are you in detention?
See, I hate the murder of social opportunities based on fairness.
It can't be paired with detention for the other kids.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
Yeah, like you got to break. There has to be some way to honor everybody without, and maybe like there's a certain floor score and everybody above that score gets to go and then growth gets recognized too. So
everybody, the trophies
like
for everybody.
Yeah.
Nope.
And also that's the problem with everybody gets a trophy culture.
So I think
if everybody's excellent, nobody's excellent.
So in this case, I think being snubbed is important because it's a life skill. Like, yes, that might not feel fair, or, oh, it was this way and then that changed. I mean, honestly, like, yeah, sometimes you're not going to get recognized. Like, it's not always.
Oh, you're saying it more like, that's life.
I mean, yes. Yes, sometimes unfair things happen.
Yeah, it's real.
And you have to be able to deal with it, at least, or in a productive way. And so then it was like, do you want to write a letter? And she's like, I'm going to write an angry letter. I said, great, go write an angry letter. And then we'll write a real one. Like, trying to, redirect to something useful and positive. But I did think that having the conversation about what do you do when you feel like you've been snubbed, right? And in this case, our kids. And how do you navigate rejection? Because really, it can feel like a form of rejection.
It is a form of rejection to it. Well, assuming you apply, right? So there are times where I have the same concern for other people that I have for myself. So I think that you have to be very careful with the stories that you're telling yourselves about the opportunities that you put yourself in line for. Because I know that there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'm not going to win that anyway, so I'm not even going to
bother.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother putting in the application. I'm not going to bother putting the time into this thing when I know they don't recognize work like mine, or like I know they don't publish scholarship like mine. And it applies to so many different spaces in academia for me, because sometimes it's about the conference paper that you don't put in. Sometimes it's about the award that you don't apply for. Sometimes it's about the journal that you don't submit to because you just think that, oh, this isn't the type of stuff that they publish. Where if you took a chance, you might be right. And I see your face getting tight because I know the exact example you're going to use.
Marjorie
has a decade of rejection from a certain conference for certain types of papers that she writes. That flies in the face of my keep your head up messaging.
That's just what I was going to ask you.
But I do feel like I think that in your case, you just need to find additional professional outlets. I think you've tested it enough. You've done enough reps to not be. You're not who I'm talking to. You're not the person that's paralyzed by the fear of rejection who's not going to put it in.
Oh, I'm putting it in just to be like, I put it in, and oh, surprise, it was rejected. Let me copy paste and put it into this other one,
and then get it first time every
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's also you know what it is? It's that water bottle metaphor.
What?
So, same water bottle. I got one off camera. Let's use Makers. Not Makers.
I see where your head's at.
Yeah, I'm ready to drink. It's Saturday. The Patriots just won, yo. Let's be real. We're going to the AFC Championship game. But, okay, water bottle. I actually happen to have one because hydration is a part of a good life.
Hydrate.
Yeah. And members, Mark, if you want to hook up struggling parents with some sponsorship for featuring your water, got you. That's a white label joint.
Not members, Mark.
Yeah.
We don't want their money.
Yeah, you're right. Makers Mark, holla at us. So,
way better.
Yeah, we'll do whiskey tastings all day. But I've always valued it because I think it's a really shortcut metaphor about like going where you're valued. So if you're in a major city and it's summertime and there's the little cats who try to run up and clean your windshield and they're also selling you water bottles, like that bottle of water is like $1. Mm-hmm. If you're at the gas station, that same bottle of water might be $2. Mm-hmm. If you're in a grocery store, right, there's certain venues let you try to get that same bottle of water in the airport.
It's like $8.
That bottle of water is $12.53.97.
And the worst is you're thirsty and all the water fountains are out of service.
Yeah. So that water bottle has a different value depending on the venue that it's in. And I feel like we have to think about that piece in terms of where we put our work and where we put our time and our energy, but also where we expect recognition.
Okay.
Right? Like I want to be considered a $10 water bottle.
I like that.
When I think about my consulting, when I think about my teaching, when I think about the places I want to be in, like I want to feel good.
You want to be a top shelf water bottle.
Yeah, like I want to feel good. I want to know that I'm adding value, but I want the people that I'm adding that value to recognize it.
Yeah.
Like there's something valuable about like knowing it in the moment. Knowing that I'm doing a great job and I'm putting my best foot forward and I'm giving you the absolute best of what I know, but like you're open and you're receptive to it and you think as highly of what I'm offering as I do of how hard I work to offer it to you.
So how would you then say, a young up and coming scholar, right, is thinking about, publishing or applying to conferences or doing any of this work? How do you think they should approach figuring out where those gatekeepers are, right? Because I think in all of the examples, whether it's Penske Corp or, the school policies denying the ability to get to the party. And in this case, right, we might think about academic disciplines or conferences or organizations who may or may not support our work. How do you figure out who's going to let you in versus who's going to keep you out?
Man, I think networking is so important for that stuff. I feel very, very blessed with the people that I consider in my like direct scholar network, kind of like my disciplinary space, like the people in my faculty color cohort, the Gina Garcias, the Brian Burst, the Crystal George Mwangi. Like I have people who are my contemporaries, like we were coming through grad school at the same time, but they're already full professors.
Oh, they're
full professors. They've gotten Fulbrights. They've walked through so many doors through good work and through like learning stuff through trial and error and hopefully leveraging their network. that I feel like they demystify some of those things. And so I think anybody who's trying to figure stuff out, like the best people to talk to are the people who just went through what you went through. And so if somebody wants to talk to me about tenure and promotion, like I'm ready. I will give you as much game as I possibly can because it was deeply uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, I feel like I did everything right. And I listened to my mentors. I listened to people who were in my corner to give myself the best shot of being successful. And so I wasn't surprised that I was successful, but I was still definitely relieved. And those are the things. So I would love to talk to the young, tenure track professor. Like, oh, you're year 1, year 2. Where you at? How many things have you submitted? What are you working on? What do your collaborations look like?
Yeah.
How are you challenging yourself? How are you pushing outside of the bounds of your discipline so that you could have collaborations where your skills are really going to be respected, but you get paid for them better, or you get more opportunities, or you get better opportunities because there's actually funding behind it.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah. And so I think the navigational piece that comes from networking and like having coaches, having mentors, having people that are going to look out for you in that way, I think that's where I would start.
I think one of the reasons that I'm very good at taking constructive and critical feedback as an academic is because you do it all the time. And so, at work, people are like, oh, maybe something's being reviewed and it's like, oh, well, I just don't want, I'm like, yo, please, feedback, edits. That's what, I need that so that this can be better. The way that this
gets better is you edit it and you give me quick feedback that I can implement quickly.
Right. But everybody doesn't, I think, see that process the same. So how did you feel like you got to a place where you could get that critical feedback, or, oh man, I just got this rejection, and what did you do with that? Like, how did you get it to the point where it's not this devastating end of the world? Because sometimes I feel like rejection, I think people are so much more sensitive to rejection, and not just our kids. I think people across the board are so much more sensitive to rejection in a way that it shuts everything down.
People are weak. I'm if I were gonna go on a rant, there's a strange sense of entitlement. Like, people think that they're entitled to be good at something as soon as they start doing it. That's not how you get good. Nobody starts good.
Yeah.
It's a process. You turn the paper in, and the first time you turn it in, it's covered in red. It's like the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. And then you hopefully take that feedback, and none of the mistakes that you made in that first paper, you make in the second paper. And now you give yourself space to make new mistakes. and it's this iterative process where you get better every time. And the problem with expertise a lot of times, and I struggle with this, I never believed that like star players make good coaches. It's just like an example of a theory that I have. So like Magic Johnson was never a good basketball coach. Michael Jordan was never a good coach. Like they're too good. There's too many things that they just do intuitively that they can't teach, but they're deeply disappointed that you can't do because you can't see the game the way that they do. You can't, you just don't have the body control, the like athleticism, the combination of the connection between the mental, physical. And so if you think about like dope coaches, like a Steve Kerr, who's a former player, like he's a role player, but he can teach the game. He can think about the relationships between everybody. Like he's a really great coach. Phil Jackson was a former player. I think that being upper mediocre is better for the provision of opportunity for the next generation. And so I think about that as like, all right, if I know that my contribution, I'll personalize it now. Like, I know that my contribution in the academy I never came to the academy to be like super duper mega scholar. Like I wasn't trying to be like, oh, like Dr. Williams' 7th book came out this year. And I've seen the people who work that way, and I don't want their life.
Oh.
While respecting that, like, yo, it's dope that you're mad productive. It's dope that you're out here crushing it. It's dope that like the one aspiration that I have is that over the long career that I hope to have in the academy, that eventually I have a term that like, if you Google like, oh, you mean Williams's book on, XYZ term, right? Like I would like to be associated with a construct at some point.
I do have a taxonomy.
Or
so
maybe like a crispy theoretical. Yeah, but you got to get the citations up for your joint.
This is true.
Yeah, because like,
when it first came out, we were hitting it heavy. It's
because like I think like people try to cite Tinto, and Tinto is so old. Tinto don't even cite Tinto no more.
Please stop. Let the 90s go.
Yeah, but like Aston, Tinto, like even like Big Homie, how Terrell Strayhorn is associated with Sense of Belonging. Like I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but I know that that's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot
Like
of
you gotta spend a lot of time on just that, and like you gotta really dig deep.
everything you're doing is that.
And that's not necessarily what excites me in the academy. Like what excites me is variety, which for better or for worse in all aspects of life, right? Like there's a, and so if you think about, like, hey, who's the type of scholar that I want to be? Then I think that lets you be more targeted in the way that you network and the way that you look for support as well.
Okay.
Right. So if you want to be like a happy family man who got tenure on his own timeline, like I might be a good person to talk to. If you want to be somebody who graduates PhD students who are doing great, like, and go to, like, there are things that I know I'm excellent at, but super duper scholar where somebody's going to be like, oh my God, I just cited such and such. Like if I'm at a belonging conference.
Right. So yeah, because like I've had people roll up to me and do that, and I'm not.
But you have more disciplinary. You would be more likely known for what you do because your niche is smaller
specific.
and tighter. Yeah, like I'm not. I do STEM stuff and I do belonging stuff and I do I do equity diversity stuff. There's a lot of people
pick
in
a thing.
The general pool who do like a little bit and touch a little bit of those different things. So yeah, like I would never feel snubbed for something I didn't go for.
Okay,
but I also want to make sure that I'm not going for things because I think I'm gonna get snubbed. Right, like that's to bring it all.
So bring it all together, right? Yeah. And I feel like, we've joked about this idea of being snubbed. But thinking about, rejection comes in many forms, right? We, as parents, as professors, certainly in dating. Did we mention the dating thing?
No, if you want to touch dating, that's the last topic.
No, I'm not going to touch it. I just, because we were talking about the Diary of a CEO episode. You know what? We'll talk about that next podcast because it's a really interesting one. The one where they talked about the Lost Boys report.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and so anyway, one of the things that they mention is, you've got to swipe 2,000 times just to get a coffee date. And like, out of the 5 dates you set up, 4 people are going to ghost you. That's an insane level of rejection.
That's baseball level, yo. But you got to keep swinging.
Yeah, but baseball isn't like you as a person being rejected.
I mean, champions are made by, and oh man, the Scooter Braun story. I'll have to, let's save this.
We're going to come back to
it. Let's save this for the next podcast because I want the audio for it because it's really good and I'm going to share it with you when we get off of the show.
Okay.
But I do think that there's a difference in mentality. And I think when we think about recognition, resilience, like going to the spaces where you're valued, being willing to put yourself out there, even if you feel undervalued in certain spaces, if you know that they're still important to navigate for your career or that they're still. So I think that your continued submission to the conference that shall not be named in your specialty that shall not be named is really good because every time that you're at that conference, you're adding something valuable by just your presence, but also you're getting something valuable by being in community. And so even if your work isn't necessarily being honored the way that you would like,
there's still value to be had.
Yeah. And so I think it's helping reconcile that and making sure that they're also not so weak that it's just a all or nothing decision.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they didn't accept me, so I don't belong in this space, or like I'm not gonna go and give them my time or energy.
Right.
On the one extreme, but also on the like, don't let your confidence be hit because there's amazing work all over the place that gets rejected from all types of things every day. And the few rejections, I mean, even using my own experience, the few rejections I've ever gotten have usually turned into publications anyway.
Right.
There's going to be somewhere else. And if you are willing to take feedback and you're willing to think about like, hey, what is it other than racism? Like in the case of sinners, right? Like the racism is tough.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's like in Black AF, slavery.
Yeah. Like
because slavery.
I'm actually great. Like you don't need to, I don't require any of your accolades. Check that box office.
And I do think that, we jokingly said that I have a lot of snub stories, snubs and rejections.
You were built by snubs.
And like, I think I'm
built for tough.
Listen, as McCarthy said, I'm built different, right? Like I do think that there is also value in going through hard things. Now I want to I'll do a snub episode later because there's some.
We're not starting that up now.
I'm not.
Yeah, but I will say, I appreciate the topic, and I think there's definitely more to mine. But we're good for right now.
Yeah, go watch Sinners. It's so good. If you have not, in fact, even if you have, I'm gonna go watch it again. You should go watch it again.
You'll
Let's
pick
talk
up
about
so
it.
much more the second and third time through when you already know where things go, because you can almost consider it like two separate movies, like before things get real, like mid movie.
It's like the start of the movie, and then the like, oh, this is.
Yeah, but each time that I've revisited it, I've been like, man, my guy Michael B. Jordan was going crazy.
I forget that he's playing two people.
It's so well shot that you really think that they're twins. And
Yes.
and I grew up on Eddie Murphy playing
Everyone.
He's playing men, women. He's playing
His entire family.
he's playing the Jewish guy in the barbershop. Like
Oh, yes.
he's doing all that.
Taste the soup.
But to see that in a kind of more dramatic and serious kind of capacity, I was like, man, this is just
So well done.
yeah, it's crazy.
I cried in the movie theater the first time we saw it.
Yeah.
And then the second time I saw it, I was really excited because it's like, oh, like that, it's coming. Like the next thing is coming.
Yeah. There's just so many powerful scenes. But yeah, thanks for rocking with us on another episode of the Parents and Professors podcast.
Peace.
If this conversation resonated with you, do us a huge, huge, huge favor. Like the episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on all our socials. I actually be going crazy on Instagram, so that's the best one.
And please feel free to drop a comment below. Tell us what you liked, what you hated, where you'd like us to dig deeper, or even if you think we missed something. We're always learning and growing, and we want to make sure that we're creating content that resonates with viewers like you.
And most importantly, and this is a huge one, if you know somebody who could benefit from hearing the conversations that we're having on this episode, please share. Sharing is caring. We're doing this for the love and to build a community because it matters.
And at the end of the day, that's the most important part, creating spaces where we can have real, honest conversations about the things that matter to you: education, parenting, relationships, and everything in between.
So thanks for being part of our community. Go check out the catalog of other episodes if you haven't. And we look forward to seeing you next time on the Parents and Professors podcast.
Before you let no